Hello, Cancer. My name is Paul, and this is Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask that you connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And if there is anything you need me to pray over or meditate upon or send positive energy toward, please let me know, right? And remember, Cancer, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And a Two of Wands, very powerful fire energy. This is perhaps a creative decision. It could be that we are kind of taking the initiative. We're trying to take the lead on something here. All right, well, let's put that into some context. Oh, a very nice Queen of Pentacles. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I see that we have this need right now to kind of to take control or to... I'm kind of feeling like there's a need for us to be confident despite a somewhat challenging situation, maybe at home, maybe with close friends or family members. Let's select the mystery card and see what else we've got going on. This is one card from the Smith-Waite deck. We're just going to randomly choose it. We're going to put Mr. Tao, the yin-yang duck, right there on top. Now, Cancer, we're not going to look at that card until the end. Okay, and hopefully it will tie everything together, give us the confirmation that we need, right? But we're also doing something a little different. If at any point during the reading you get an idea, a sense, a feeling of what that card is, I want you to put your prediction in the comment section. Okay, don't give the answer away, all right? Just put your prediction in there. That way everybody kind of has a chance to play along if they want to. And at the end of the video, we'll have a moment of stillness where we can all kind of put in our final predictions. I want to see if we can collectively raise our vibrations, tap into spirit, tap into our intuition, and start discerning this mystery card together, okay? But first, let's take a look around the room here. Major Arcana. All we have is the Emperor. Right, that's the one major, right? Yeah, that's right. We do have a few court cards here. Okay, so this tells me that there's something going on with a group of people. Since we have the 4 here, we have also the 6 of Cups. I feel like this is a situation involving close friends or family members, maybe people you live with. That things might be a little complicated right now. Okay, there might be some conflicting emotions. There might be a bit of a power struggle going on. We do have this one major arcana card, which means we will have to do an Jing card. We have more fire right there too. We have fire. We've got quite a bit of water going on here. A couple of court cards of the suit of cups and 2 of these cup cards. We don't have any air. The only air we sort of have is with the 6 of Cups, right? Because the 6, the number 6 is an airy kind of number, generally speaking. So there's a little bit of communication here, and a 6 of Cups really is about that kind of harmonious relationship with others, right? Close to us. The very resonant, affectionate, respectful, and kind of pleasurable relationship with other people. It seems like we're trying to get that. This is the card of our relationships. Okay. And then we've got just a little bit of Earth here. I think the Earth back in this position is talking about, it's talking about the stability that we have now. This might just represent the home, generally speaking, right? That what's going on with us now is not really taking place at work. I mean, it might be, but I feel like it's in a kind of close quarters, right? It's people you see every day. It could be work. but I'm getting more of a kind of domestic vibe here. Like close friends, family members, something in the personal life. But a work thing would make sense because of this kind of power struggle that we're feeling right now. Let's talk about that. Okay, we'll come back to the Four of Pentacles as we need to, but the first thing is obviously the Two of Wands that we pulled out. This is a creative decision. This is a decision of leadership. This is feeling like we need to take action, right? And the action that we want to take, well, I think we're trying to figure that out. We're trying to understand our next move, what we should be doing here, if anything, right? To kind of uncomplicate this situation or get us back to the Six of Cups. See, we're kind of falling into an Eight of Cups here. We really want to get back to the Six. But maybe we're not sure what really needs to be done. See, the Queen of Pentacles here is someone that's kind of at a crossroads, kind of at a turning point. We're looking back over the past, right? And we're seeing the stability that once was. We're seeing the structure, the safety, security, and stability of our lives. This is the orderly world that we're used to. Maybe this is the routine of the home, or this is just the smooth functioning of our business, whatever it might be. It could be business related. And we're trying to understand how we can learn from the past. What was working before? How can we project that onto the future so that the future can work for us too? And there's a little bit of a disconnect here, because when we try to apply the past to the future, we get an Eight of Cups. See, it's kind of like we're taking this Four. This is what worked in the past. This was the stability, the harmony, the structure, the really good foundation. Everything was balanced. Everybody knew what they were doing. Everything was functioning. But then you multiply that by perhaps, too many chefs and not enough line cooks. Well, 4 times 2 is the 8. But it's an Eight of Cups, right? So it's not something that really is going to work out. So I think there is a question of leadership or decisions that maybe we're struggling with the issue of, is it our responsibility to make these decisions, or is somebody else trying to make the decisions and we're butting heads with that person? Okay. When I see a Two of Wands in this kind of situation, this position, I feel like it's two wills that are clashing, right? It could be that you and someone else in the group have different ideas of how to move forward, right? Or what decisions need to be made here. And there are a lot of emotions involved. A lot of emotions. The fact that we don't have any air energy, we need to talk about that. Because I kind of feel as if it might be a suggestion here to not engage the swords energy. There are no swords because we don't want them right now. It's kind of saying, look, clear your mind, right? Don't try to figure things out rationally right now, right? I think maybe we're feeling a little bit of this impulsivity with the Knight of Wands up here. We're feeling also a little bit sensitive emotionally. So we're not really in the best position to decide anything right now. I think that this might be an overwhelming situation that we might need to just kind of chill on for a minute. Yeah. Because the Knight of Wands up here at the top, this is kind of what you're looking at. This, I think, is an impulse for you to take action, right? This is the will to do something. It's kind of like you're on the horse and the horse really wants to go and you really want to go. There's almost nothing holding you back. And this is a situation where we could get a little carried away, right? We don't want to act impulsively. Yeah. So we need to temper this a little bit. Because this is double fire, right? So this is, a creative will that is just let loose. It's a fury, right? And I think a lot could get done. This is great energy when we're really trying to push toward a goal, but I don't think this is the right energy for right now. Right? I don't think there's that kind of a clearly defined goal that we need to push toward. Right? Or maybe there is, but there's this kind of power dynamic with the two here that doesn't really call for this double fire energy. Okay? But this is at the top. This is kind of what that's what we want to do. That's what we feel kind of pulled toward. At the same time, we have almost the exact opposite here with the Princess of Cups. I think this is and this is at the bottom. This is kind of, I think, a situation that is making us feel quite emotional, but overwhelmed, right? It's almost as if we're trying to perhaps react in this fiery way because we are maybe deeply hurt, maybe we are very sensitive to this situation. I kind of wonder if there is maybe a situation here where you're experiencing some kind of, maybe criticism even, right? With the two here, I get that feeling of competition, like your two wills are clashing, you're kind of butting heads with someone. So there's that, and then there might even be some kind of criticism coming from an older figure in this situation. Maybe a parent, grandparent, older sibling, maybe an older coworker. It could be an older energy, as in like maybe a supervisor or a manager. But I feel like there's some kind of dominating energy that's coming down as well. Okay, and that might be making us feel a little bit vulnerable, a little bit sensitive, right? And a natural reaction to this is kind of an overcompensation, but it would be a very fiery response, right? And I think we're being counseled to wait on this response because it's not going to lead to anything productive. When we have an 8 of Cups in the future position, this is saying, look, the energy, the path that we're on, the trajectory that we're holding right now is not leading to anything positive, right? So there's the absence of swords. There's the absence of engaging in the conflict, right? It could be that we're just keeping a holding pattern until the situation can resolve, until we can really clear our mind and get some kind of, get the Emperor energy, right? This is the spiritual energy that is presiding over this reading. Interestingly, it's in the position of what we don't want, or what the obstacle, in this case, it might just be the obstacle, right? And the Emperor, this is some fiery energy too. How is it different than a Knight of Wands? Well, the Emperor is seated, right? But seated in a position of power. So it's not the same kind of fury of the Knight of Wands. Sure, the Emperor could go into this energy and ride into battle with a fury and a rage. And indeed, that is kind of a shadow aspect of the Emperor. So in that sense, we don't want to invoke the Emperor in this kind of energy. But we do need the Emperor to be, resolved, committed, thoughtful, sensitive, but strong and assertive, thinking of the good of the entire realm, not just as a reaction to perhaps some hurt feelings, perhaps some overwhelmed energy that we feel, right? If there is some kind of competition or criticism, the Emperor does kind of have the impulse to react in this kind of way. And that's why we need the Emperor, but maybe this is the obstacle, is trying to control ourselves enough and be this calm, assertive, powerful force, but not in a kind of reactionary way. this situation calls for a little bit more tact, a little bit more strategy, right? What we think an emperor would, how an emperor would approach a situation like this, right? Taking all of the data into account. If we're feeling overwhelmed with emotion right now, now's not the time to make a decision, right? Reminds me of the Game of Thrones kind of thing. Just burn them all, you know. But we don't want to do that, obviously. So we can see that our immediate reaction right now would lead to some, really a loss, right? It wouldn't lead to any kind of productive developments. With the Eight of Cups, it's very much a squeezing out of all hope, right? This is Saturn in Pisces, this energy. And to me, it's a restriction on our deeper spiritual connections with people. It's a stricture around our emotional bonds, emotional progress, right? It's kind of the opposite of what we're trying to do up here with the Queen of Cups, right? Which we'll get to. Now, generally, with all of the court cards that we see, it tells me that there is a larger group, but it also tells me about your state of mind, right? And I think that you are someone who is deeply aware of your feelings. I think us Cancers, I'm a solar Cancer. I think Cancers are pretty aware of our feelings. We can't always control them or conceal them, but we try. And I think that's what's going on here, is that we're putting on this, perhaps this kind of bold exterior to compensate for the hurt feelings, the sensitivity that we're experiencing inside. Now we want to get back to this kind of solid state, right? And this might even be an impulse that you feel to retreat to your own kind of inner sanctuary. If this is a work thing, well, we're kind of saying, well, I'm just going to stay in my office, or I'm just going to go home for the day. If this is something that's taking place in your home, then this card's kind of saying, well, maybe I'll just go in my room for the day and let this kind of feeling pass through me, and I will strategize and I'll see what the best decision to make. I'll take all of the data into account, including your feelings, right? Because your emotions are a set of data that are profoundly important. You know, there's a reason why we feel things. There's a reason why we have emotional reactions to things. And under perhaps more primitive circumstances, we would want to react based on those emotions and kick in our fury response, right? Because maybe we're being chased by a predator or something, or whatever the situation is, we want that kind of reaction. But now humans are more civilized. We can't react that way all the time. We need to let the feeling pass, and then we need to invoke the air energy, but the air energy isn't here now, right? So I feel like we're still in this emotion, okay? And once it can pass, then it's time for us to invoke the swords, get the air energy in, and start to strategize, start to communicate, and organize a plan, and that sort of thing. Okay. Going down to the path of the serpent, we start with the Seven of Wands. This, to me, again, is kind of more of this competition thing. And it's... With the Two of Wands, it feels like it's an equal thing, right? It's two equal wills that are battling for control of a situation, right? It's kind of, there are two leaders here, both of equal force. When we get over here to your general energy, now this is the feeling like we're the underdog, right? And I think it's because we kind of have this sensitivity to go with it that we feel not that we're in a head-to-head fair competition, but now that we've been dealt a low blow, right? That we've been undermined in some way. And maybe this is that overwhelming feeling it's the competition, yes, but maybe there's some kind of criticism here. See, I'm getting the feeling of criticism, but there still are no swords cards, right? So it's a feeling that I'm getting. I don't know if it's a fact, right? We feel that way, but is it something that actually has happened? So we need to let the emotions clear. We need to let some of this energy subside so that we can use our swords, our discernment, our intellect, to really assess the situation and say, what exactly happened? Now that I'm not in my feelings so much, what happened here and how should I react? Okay? Because right now, general energy is the feeling that we are kind of being attacked, that we are in a defensive position, that we need to fight harder because we're kind of in a bad spot, right? We're kind of the underdog here. And it kind of has this feeling of really, really pushing back because we're kind of in a compromised position, a vulnerable position, right? And I think that's also because of this Princess of Cups, like I said. Now's not the time, I think, to act on this. We need to remember what it is that we really want. Okay, and I think in this situation we're really gaining a lot more than we realize. This isn't just an emotional kind of conflict that is just a waste of time, or it's just kind of a burden. I think we're going to learn a lot. We're gaining a lot from this, right? More than we realize. First thing with the Six of Cups. This is the relationship we want with the world, right? We want one that is generating love and abundance and pleasure and joy and, success, harmony, good feelings, right? This is kind of the ideal here. This card's in the position of our environment. I feel like this is what we want in this situation. This is what we want out of this relationship. Maybe this is a relationship with a group of friends, family members, co-workers. Right? I think this could now easily apply anywhere. Anywhere that we feel kind of emotionally sensitive or a little bit raw, right? But this is what we want. This is what we're hoping to achieve. This is kind of a perfect reflection of our highest ideal. Okay. This is real abundance. This is a Three of Cups within me that says I am understanding the process of creation on the emotional plane. I want to feel good. I want to have fun. I want to enjoy my time here. I want to connect, right? I want to feel love within me and joy and good feelings, right? But I need you to kind of match that energy. It's a Three of Cups within and a Three of Cups without. Internal and external, right? There's an abundance underneath the surface within me, and there's this abundance outside of me. Okay? And I think this is really where Cancers can thrive. Okay? It's kind of a generalization. But I think that, and this is going to kind of lead us into this Queen of Cups up here. I think Cancers are very sensitive to the emotional energy around them, right? And this is where we're going to gain a lot through this situation because we've got this Queen of Cups at the end. Now, this is water on water. There's a lot of depth here. There are a lot of levels to this card. The first level is the surface level, right? Where the surface of the water is absorbing some light, reflecting some light. It's where all the interface happens, right? It's that it's the screen in our mind where we are experiencing the world, right? So I think that on this surface level, we have a tendency to perhaps reflect right back to the world whatever it's giving us, right? Some things get in, we absorb some things, and that's where we kind of feel a little bit of sand in our oyster here. But generally, I think we just kind of reflect the vibe around us. If everybody's kind of in a good mood, well, that kind of puts us in a good mood, and we engage with that, and then we feel a little closer to our ideal, right? But if the vibe is low, if there's a dark energy, there's a negative energy in the room, I think cancers will pick up on that, right? And then it will get reflected back. But there's also the underneath the surface, but still shallow waters, where we are trying to fulfill our immediate desires, right? What do we want? What do we feel? What do we need right now in this moment? Oh, I need peace, I need quiet, I need pleasure, I need to eat, I need to sleep, I need safety, security, and stability. I need to feel like it's okay that I'm here, you know. But then we got to go deeper than that. We got to go all the way down to the bottom, as far down as we can go. I don't think there is a bottom here. I think it's an infinite depth, because we start getting into the unconscious, the personal and the collective unconscious. And I think it's down here where we can really understand that our deepest fundamental needs, as deep as we can perceive down here, those needs and desires are very similar to the needs and desires of others. So this is giving us a chance to really connect with everybody, or to understand way beneath the surface how we are all very much alike. Okay, so in some ways we're kind of even bypassing the Emperor a little bit. But we will do an I Ching card for this Emperor. Let's do that now before this video gets too long. Anytime we get a, didn't even have to shuffle. Anytime we get a single major arcana card, we do an I Ching card, or if we get the Fool, the Magus, the Hierophant, or the Hermit. Right? So there's 5 total occasions where we might pull an I Ching card. So we'll get to these a lot more often, I think, now. So we have 3, sprouting. Right? Sprouting. And this is really talking about, I'll go ahead and read the text. From the source, creating success, constancy bears fruit. Don't use this to have a direction to go. Fruitful to establish feudal lords. Okay? Don't use this to have a direction to go. There's no decision, there's no plan, there's nothing to execute right now. Right? We kind of have to just do the holding pattern. The commentary on the back, like a plant putting out roots in all directions, the inner life reaches out into the world, experiencing resistance for the first time. The creative drive of heaven and earth joins together and grows, bursting with life and desire to fulfill. It's too early to limit possibilities, so strengthen your resolve and gather support, human or otherwise, to help expand your awareness and influence. What is beginning? Where is the growing center? And where can you find help for it? So the idea of sprouting here is a seedling under the soil, right, in the dirt, that starts to sprout, and it has to struggle. Now it's trying to burst through to the light, right, to the atmosphere, to the daytime, to the world, the surface. And it's meeting some resistance. So what I feel is sprouting here is your understanding of your real desires, what you really need in this situation, in life, right? It's whatever you find at the depths of this that then is trying to work its way to the surface. And that could be why we're experiencing some resistance now, right? Maybe that's one fundamental underlying reason for some of this conflict currently, is because our deepest, truest desire is trying to get to the surface, is trying to get out, right? And the more we can tune into that to realize what it is that I really want. Why is there this conflict now? What desire is in me that's trying to get out, and there's this struggle, right? And that might be why we need this Emperor energy, to give us the focus and the strength and the strategy, the calm, assertive confidence to do this, right? And not to be overly sensitive. We need to be sensitive to how we feel and what's going on and what kind of, what irritates us, why, how we feel. We need the Princess of Cups. But we also need our discernment and our strength and our confidence and our control, right? And our authority over our own reactions so that we can kind of get to the bottom of things within us to understand why we feel this way and kind of what we should do about it. Yeah. So I think you are gaining an awful lot from this situation. And I think we need to look at any kind of conflict like this that's going on and see what it is that we're supposed to be learning. What is it within us that's trying to sprout, right? That's struggling to get through the soil and emerge into the open air. Well, let's look at the mystery card now. Thank you, Mr. Tao, the yin-yang duck. This is the point of the reading where I'll ask you to connect with these images and with these energies. And we'll see if we can predict this card together. Pause the video if you would like. And remember, just put your predictions into the comments section. Don't put the actual answer, because there are people that will watch this reading sometime after you watch it. Well, I kind of think it's going to be some air. I feel like that's what we need. I feel like we need to, we need the confirmation that after we kind of feel this out, it will be time to make a decision. Or we need the air in here now to help us sort through the feelings, right? We need an Ace of Swords or a Two of Swords. Maybe even a Three of Swords, to help us dissect this, to help us take the situation and break it up into smaller pieces that we can look at, to disassemble it, right? Okay, it is Swords energy. It's a Seven of Swords. So this makes it a little bit delicate. Yeah, we have the air energy. We've got now the ability to dissect things, to split them apart, to disassemble, and to look and analyze at every piece of this, right? In a rational, intelligent, logical way. But there's a risk with the 7, right? Because it's in between the 6 and the 8. So it gives us a confidence. The 7s. Right? 7s are all about confidence. The confidence was gained by the 6. Okay, and now in the 7, now we're using that confidence, but there's the risk of thinking that we can kind of carry a lot more than we're actually capable of. It's an overconfidence, right? So we need to be careful here not to get so far into it that we end up with an 8 of Swords, which is kind of being imprisoned. It's overanalyzing to the point where we're not acting. We're not making any decisions. We're not coming to any conclusions. We're just kind of spinning our wheels. We're just tangled. It's like that knot of Christmas lights in Christmas Vacation, right? There's no way to sort it out. We would spend the rest of our lives trying to untangle that big knot of Christmas lights. You remember that movie? One of my favorite movies. So this is the confidence that we need to be careful doesn't become an arrogance, right? Or an overconfidence where we get tangled up. Okay. So in a situation, and with this card we have to do our botanical inspirations too. Let's do that real quick. Anytime we get a 3, a 5, 7, 8, 9, 10 of Swords, we have to do our botanical inspirations. It's kind of an affirmation card, kind of an oracle card type of thing. So we'll do one of these quickly. And we have the Camellia, destiny. It is not in the stars to hold our destiny, but in ourselves, right? So that's kind of interesting. Destiny. What does destiny have to do with this? Well, destiny, it might be the idea that we are finding within ourselves that deeper core fundamental desire of what it is that we're trying to achieve. What is it that we really want in our life, in our environment, in our relationship with the environment, right? What does our Six of Cups really look like? And the idea that this destiny is within us, here's that card, the destiny is within us and not written in the stars. To me, that's saying that just because we've been imprinted with a certain pattern, a certain psychology, a certain energy or aura, doesn't mean that we are destined to fulfill that, right? If you think of astrology, you have your astrological chart. It's an imprint of the energies at the time you were born. It does not mean that you are destined or doomed to fulfill all of those aspects and placements and elements. That is a potential, right? The destiny is still within you. It's not within that configuration of constellations and planetary energies. Does that make sense? So in this situation, I feel like just because we're in a certain state, we have certain tendencies, certain habits and patterns of behavior, doesn't mean that we are just destined, let's say, for this Eight of Cups, this kind of misery. We hold the key within us through how we choose to express these elements, these energies, planetary or otherwise. All right, so we have to understand that destiny is not determinism. Okay? And with that, we're going to do an extended reading. If you want to stick around, click either above or below in the video description. New readings for Cancer every Tuesday and Saturday. Please subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss the next one. I want to thank you for watching this video all the way through until the end. That really helps out with the algorithm stuff and all that kind of complicated mess. But I appreciate it. And I want you to know, Cancer, that you are the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you, and we are all in this together.